Happy Valentine's Day. When you see this, it will be Wednesday, the day after Valentine's. But better late than never. I just got in from work. Oh my gosh, you guys, we had so many reservations tonight. We had over 600 reservations. Last night we were there late, moving out all of the furniture in the restaurant to bring in like event tables for like two tops, and we had like 97 tables to bring in. And then that meant that tonight, after waiting on 600 people, we got to move all the furniture out and back in. So I am fried. I'm insane. I can't go on another minute. But we're here for our Oracle manifestation reading for the week. It's funny, we kind of ended up having like a spontaneous impromptu Valentine's Day party at work. It's like everybody brought in sweet treats, which was great. We all binged on sugar. And before Valentine's, I was like, you know what? I haven't had, like, you know, when you go, like, in elementary school, when you have your Valentine's party and you buy those boxes of Valentines and you hand one out to everyone. I was like, oh, that'd be fun. I should take Valentines into work. I wonder if they still have those. And I was like, wait, I wonder if I can find some of those kitschy, like, throwback, like, vintage ones. And sure enough, last week I was out with my mom to lunch and we went to this antique mall and they had them there. And it happens to be the antique mall like down the street from my house on the way to work. And I bought a few packs and I got into like filling them all out this morning. And I was like, oh no, we have like extra people at work that we don't usually have. And I was like, I haven't finished all the ones for like all of our dish team and like all of our chefs and cooks and everything. And so I had to like run as fast as I could on the way to work to that antique mall, hoping the booth would still have some packs left. And sure enough, they did. And so the manifestation was complete. But this is what I'm talking about. Like these little old-timey ones. These are some of the leftover ones. But they were so cute. And everybody loved them. And they all have funny puns on them. Like this one says, I can go without water, but not without you. So random. What's another one? Another good one. Oh, I like this one. This little like dancer circus. Oh, it would be too sweet if you would be my Valentine. I think that's too sweet. It's really funny. I love a pun. But yeah, which is funny to me because our archetype message for the week was the comic and how the comic would bring love into the world. And that's totally what I was doing today with my little funny puns. And everybody loved them, which was great. That was the most fun. All right, now on to the reading. What do we need to know for this week in regards to our manifestation? I had wanted to do a Valentine's reading today, but I just never had time, and now it's too late. So, too bad. So sad. Oh my gosh. Our favorite card. Naked Lady with the blue lagoon hair. The worst is now behind us. Definitely. I feel that just by tonight, just having that shift behind me. It's our hardest shift of the year. I mean, like, New Year's Eve was easier. But yes, in general, the worst is behind us, guys. We're, like, coming to the end of winter. We're fastly approaching spring. The days are already getting longer. And so we've been on this huge like transformation cycle for the last year. It's been culminating and coming to a climax in the last few months. And you may be feeling like, depending on when the major shifts happened in your life throughout last year and maybe even the year before, you may have had some things that have really shaken you up recently, or you may have had some things finalize where feelings and memories and things came back up and around to be like, I don't know, taken through an emotional process one more time before it's out of your system. And if you've had fresh things happen, these things may not be out of your system yet. Don't worry. Don't beat yourself up. No one's in the wrong place. We're all on track, right? But the good news is that now we're starting to move forward into this new fresh energy. So all of the like the hard upsets and the turbulence and the worst of it, like the hardest part of it all, and the work part, that's behind us. Now we're regrouping. And if we've already been regrouping, we're getting ready to set forth into this new story, a new timeline, right? And so we've got really happy things ahead of us. The energy is starting to grow. And come spring, I mean, it's going to be kicking off. Like I can feel it. I can already feel it. So yeah, take advantage of the next couple of weeks in February. Life can change so fast. And so if you're antsy because there's not a lot of action or activity or like seeming progress right now, don't worry. There's going to be more than you can keep up with soon enough. So enjoy this while you can and be at ease knowing that the worst is behind us and the best is yet to come. All right. What else do we need to know for this week? Tranquility. Oh my gosh. These are my plans for tomorrow. I'm going to be in that tub. Make time to relax, be still, and enjoy your solitude, indulging in much needed self-care. Yeah, the next 3 days I have off, and I definitely need some of that, some downtime. But like I said, in February, we're halfway through February, the last couple of weeks, take advantage of time for tranquility. Let your inspiration and your ideas start building and start getting into these routines. Start working on these goals, right? Let your momentum start building because we are coming out of that stagnant energy of January where it just felt like so heavy and like nothing could get done but like reflection. But I feel like we're turning the corner now. So enjoy a little tranquility. Enjoy having a clear mind. Like, it's hard to sit with a quiet mind, especially when there's been so much emotional upheaval, so much stress, so much running and running and running, so much change. But I have a feeling this week it might be a moment of just reprieve, which is nice. And I'm feeling that for sure. There's just been so much going on. Need a reset. All right, what else do we need to know for this week in regards to our manifestations? Sounds like it's just like, hey, feel good and be the vessel, right? Like having these good feeling emotions, positive expectation, that feeling of lightheartedness, like, when you know the difference between feeling like stressed out and then all of a sudden when the stressful thing is resolved and then you feel that relief of like inner peace and like, oh, that's all over. Like feel that feel good feeling and open yourself up and give the space in your life for the new things to come in. That means that sometimes it means being quiet. Sometimes it means being still. Sometimes it means leaving your calendar open for a little bit and not filling it up, right? So that the universe can bring something else to fill it up. So don't get antsy. Good things are coming. Enjoy this quiet moment while we can. Just being a happy little vessel. All right. Ooh, what is this? Mother healing. Okay. As your feelings towards your mother heal desires manifest more rapidly and accurately. So when things are off between us and our family, it like leaves this unsettled feeling in our subconscious. Especially when it comes to our parents, particularly our mother. Unlike our father, we have a special sort of connection to our mother. And it's like a primal subconscious need to feel like things are okay between us. And if you have unhealed wounds or you've just never been able to get along, like it can feel really unsettling. It can feel really like there's something missing and very painful because it's like you want peace in that. As a baby, your survival instinct, your survival depends on your mother, right? And so having things unresolved with the mother can leave us with really a lot of disembodied anxiety that we can't put our finger on, right? And so the more that you settle your heart with your mother, try to get along with her better. Put the past behind you and try to give credit for a new day. It's hard because like we build up baggage with our parents, you know, and it's hard to meet them with fresh eyes and fresh energy and fresh ears and all of that and fresh heart when we have a lifetime of things that we haven't been able to express beneath the surface. And some things just don't need to be expressed because they're damaging. And once said, we can't take them back. And that's where some of this mother healing has to happen, right? Because of things that have been exchanged, right? Because feelings were so raw. But I think that we're ready to just start cultivating peace in our lives. And I think that we're all starting to value unity and love and appreciation over being right or justified. And so I think it's just best that we start to move forward, particularly with our mothers, and let the healing happen and stop picking the wound. You know, try to extend an olive branch or stop fighting, stop bickering. Just all of that unsettled feeling creates like this dense, not white noise, but like black noise in your energy field. And it creates blocks to what you want to bring in. And it creates chaos in your life. And it brings up situations where you have to go through challenging, difficult, maybe even painful experiences so that you can learn lessons that seem unrelated to your mother, but by learning those and going through those experiences, they're meant to give you more compassion that you maybe didn't have, or maybe the ability to understand what happened, you know, in a way that you didn't before. But our mother wounds can affect us, particularly in love and money, because it weighs on our self-worth and we don't even realize it, right? So as we heal the wounds between our mother and us, it allows so much of that static, that psychic static, that pain, that heaviness, that density, that guilt, that shame, that anxiousness, that feeling of fear of abandonment, right? It instantly triggers codependency and enmeshment. And as we heal those things and let them go, it's like it creates so much more of a flow and a harmony within us. And it gets rid of a lot of that noise and that static that was causing turbulence and that was causing blocks and chaos in our lives. Also, I feel like too, like recently we had things coming up about both parents and healing those wounds and healing the father wounds, and how you healing your father wounds helps the rest of your family have a different perspective of their experience with the father as well, including the mother. So maybe as your relationship heals, you can meet your parents in a way that's not so dependent on the dichotomy of parent-child, right? That you can meet them as more of a spiritual equal now. And you might even have transcended your parents at this point. Either way, it's good to take them off of that mythical pedestal and just start looking at them as people who've had their own challenges and heartbreaks, and disappointments and insecurities. And so when you start looking at your mother and father as a human being, instead of the almighty servant to your validation and your ego, right, and your personal development, you feel so, your heart breaks in a good way, because you feel the pain that they've felt in their life, and you see the sacrifices they made and the times they put their needs last for you, and it gives you so much more appreciation. So yeah, I think that letting the past be in the past and moving forward into this new day, letting the worst be behind you, it feels so good to let go of beef and quarrels and grudges and heartaches and, whatever, what have you, that tit for tat, and just inviting in tranquility. Oh my gosh, when things are peaceful with everyone, doesn't that feel great? Feels like everything's all in its right place. It's heaven. It's literally heaven on earth. It's thy kingdom come. That thing, that Jesus talks about. The kingdom of heaven is within. Part of that kingdom is inner peace. It's having peaceful relations with the people around you, being in good standing with each other. Oh, it's such a load off. So yeah, put the healing in your relationships first this week. Put compassion, put unity first. Put understanding first. And if you need to set a boundary and communicate something because someone else isn't treating you respectfully, then do that too. Because I think that, a lot of times if we just are straightforward and we're honest with people, then it saves the relationship. Whereas if we're afraid to bring something up because we don't want to rock the boat, that usually ends up ruining relationships. Because you hold it all in, and then there's resentment, and then there's never any communication. And all the while, had you said something, you might have found out that there was a misunderstanding, or that the person had no idea that all that was going on with you, right? Or that they were so happy that you brought it up because they wouldn't want to continue on doing something that was hurtful, right? So give people in your life a chance by communicating the truth to them. The gang's all here. Father healing. Your personal power increases as you give any father-related issues to heaven. For me, there has been a lot of themes coming up recently about healing from the side effects of having fathers who grew up in a certain time, who were taught certain values and given certain personality qualities, aspects, characteristics, that were toxic masculine traits. And that was because of the zeitgeist. That was because of the culture, right? And so a lot of our fathers who came, who are at a certain age, came from a time where, it was all about them. Men being, getting their way. Everybody, catered to dad's needs, right? Because dad's the most important person in the family. That's a common theme, I think. I think another toxic masculine trait from that time period was that the masculine had to do it all themselves, or they were, in charge and completely in control, but then they had to take on all the responsibility. So then they were sort of bitter about it. And then they felt like, well, since I've got to take on all this responsibility that I grabbed up for myself anyway, that I threw myself on that cross, now everyone's got to cater to my needs because I'm making all the sacrifices around here, and it's going to be my way or the highway. I'm in charge. So it's like we grew up in these households with chances are, maybe you grew up in a house with like a really sweet dad. You're lucky. Maybe you have other wounds to heal because of that. But I know a lot of people, and a big theme that's been coming up just in the zeitgeist, in the culture, is this residue of toxic masculine influence on our culture coming up and being purged. Keywords for toxic masculine influence or residue, or maybe traits that you might have witnessed in your father, grandfather, etc. Men still, and women, we have these traits. But it's stern, harsh, controlling, cold, aloof, emotionally unavailable, charismatic sociopath. Manipulative, guilt-giving, grandiose, dutiful, but not because the heart was in it, but I do this because I was expected to, kind of thing. Those are some. A hunger for a lust, an insatiable lust for money, power, prestige, must be respected to the point of like kind of shadowy side of that. Domineering, harsh, strict. And so as a backlash, there are these toxic feminine qualities that come through, which is overly passive, fawning, victimizing the self, making the self small, being too subservient, not being able to think for oneself or make up one's mind, not being independent, maybe being overly attached or overly nurturing. It seems like a healthy feminine trait to be a nurturer, but in all actuality, if you look at the animal kingdom, the females need to be nurtured because we're nurturing life and we are holding down the fort in the home. So the male of the species is actually more the nurturer and really tends to the feminine. In a toxic, in a healthy situation, they're both tending to each other. But in a toxic relationship, it may be out of balance to where the feminine is totally subservient to the masculine. And then men can also exhibit toxic feminine qualities. Wallowing in despair, choosing to play the victim, being pouty and dissatisfied but not doing anything about it. What else? I mean, women and men can both interchangeably exude masculine and feminine traits. We both have a balance of masculine and feminine energy within us. And so we all fall on the spectrum of masculine and feminine energy, and where we have, been infected with that toxic masculine and that toxic feminine energy, right? And what we're trying to do is we're trying to heal and correct those and bring those into balance. Well, chances are your parents, unless they were like full-on hippies and knew all about this stuff and have been dedicated spiritual students, they probably haven't healed and integrated their healthy masculine and feminine energies either. So this is where we see those unhealthy relationship dynamics between mother and father. And we witness that, and they get put into our subconscious like a program on a hard drive, and we don't even realize it. It's like a virus. And so now all of these traits, these influences, this toxic residue is coming up. And you're like, what do you mean it's coming up? it's coming up when, like, if you've noticed you've been triggered, or you've noticed like behavior coming at you that you're just like, wow, that's like overly aggressive. Or if you're just like, I have had it with the, like, this whole like carrying the cross around victimhood, like, oh, why me? Or, you know what I mean? Like, so like you will be either over it and it'll be so obvious that it's obnoxious and you can't deal with it anymore, or those feelings, those tendencies will be provoked in you and you'll notice them and you'll become more aware of them. But yeah, I feel like it's really coming up in other people, people that you're interacting with. It's like the polarization of those who have been aware of this and have already been doing the healing is going to be a lot more intense for people who aren't aware of it, right? So the people who haven't been doing this healing work or haven't been aware of any of this, these triggers might be even more potent for them. You might notice like people feeling like they're like backed against a wall and all of a sudden they've been like super edgy lately, or just like about to blow off, like blow a lid, like blow a gasket, just pop off of the mouth. I think it's because like all of these toxic archetypal energies are coming to the surface to be cleared. Because I think for the most part, people are just like over that and they don't want to live in that world anymore. They don't want to be in that energy. We all just want to get along. We all want to like put the worst behind us and live in tranquility and start living in harmony and unity and enjoying each other. And it starts with our parents. So the more we heal our relationship with our parents and heal our perceptions and the wounds that we've taken on because of what we've witnessed our parents say and do to one another, and also just the unconscious ways that our parents brought us up and didn't know any better, right? We're not trained like with like psychology degrees to raise children. Everyone sucks. No one knows what to do. All right, y'all, I'm tired, I'm crazy, I'm insane, and I am going to take a hot shower and relax and then have a fun couple of days off, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.